Hi guys, I don't know if we're in camera or not because I'm using the GoPro, but we are up here at Tinker Cliffs, and this is part of the Triple Crown, Virginia's Triple Crown hikes, and it was an interesting hike, but I will show you here in just a little bit the footage. But yeah, we did this today. It was pretty windy. There are a ton of flies though right now, which are not affected by the wind for some reason. But anyway, some nice little flowers here. But it was a pretty nice hike. So I will get to showing you the footage.
Tinker Cliffs is located near Newcastle, Virginia, and you access it via the Layne Trail, which is off of Catawba Road, Route 779. And there is a parking lot there that you can park and access this trail right here. As you can see there, it's 3 miles to the Appalachian Trail. So the first 3 miles of this are on the Layne Trail, which does go through private property. So you want to make sure you are staying on the trail because this is going through private property. Tinker Cliffs makes up one of the 3 hikes that make up the Triple Crown Loop here in Virginia. Now, the Triple Crown Loop is just over 35 miles long with all 3 of these hikes. My daughter and I just did each one of them individually because we didn't really think that we'd be able to do a 35-mile hike. So we split it up into 3 hikes. And this was the second one that we did. The other 2 hikes that make up the Triple Crown are Dragon's Tooth and McAfee Knob. Now, I don't know how to pronounce that. I was pronouncing it McAfee, and actually somebody, when I was on this hike, told me that it's pronounced McAfee. So I don't know how you pronounce it. If anyone knows, please let me know down below. But yeah, those are the other 2 that make up the Triple Crown Loop. And if you're really adventurous and you want to do all 35 miles in one trip, then I guess go for it. We were not feeling that we could do that, so we did not. As I was saying before, the first 3 miles of this is on private property before it links up with the Appalachian Trail. And here you can see some fencing, but it is clearly marked, so as long as you're following those blue hash marks, you are good to go. And here was a bridge. That was kind of cool. This was one of 2 bridges. The other one's just right up across that field. Now, this hike, being that it's part of the Triple Crown, is a pretty popular hike. It's pretty heavily trafficked. And so if you want to avoid the crowds, you definitely want to do this on either a weekday or early morning or both. We ended up doing this on an early morning weekday. This was in March. So not super high traffic time of the year either. So we didn't see a whole lot of people. We did see one guy when we first got there and then a couple people up top, but that was about it. Out of the 3 hikes that make up the Triple Crown Loop, I think McAfee is probably the most popular. And part of that is because, one, there was a movie made that has it in it. And also, it is one of the most photographed spots, if not the most photographed spot on the Appalachian Trail. So that definitely makes it pretty popular. Whereas this one, not as popular, but still pretty popular. This is a 7-mile out and back trail with elevation at the top of 3,000 feet. Now, as far as difficulty goes with this hike, I would call it moderately strenuous or moderately difficult. There were parts of it that were kind of difficult, and I would say the most difficult parts for me were the couple sets of stairs that they had. And this is one of them that I'm coming up onto right here. And they just seemed to go forever and straight up. It was quite a workout. So the sets of stairs definitely gave me a little bit of a workout and made it a little bit difficult, but I'm trying to think if there was really anything else. I think that was pretty much the most difficult part of it. I wouldn't call this an easy trail besides the steps, but it wasn't super, super difficult. minus these stairs, which, like I said, they really did give me a workout. And the two sets of stairs were pretty close together too. But once you got past those, it seemed like smooth sailing for me because, again, the stairs, I hate stairs anyway. So it doesn't get much more difficult than that. And here I'm looking down one of the sets of stairs at my poor daughter who was struggling. And I was giving a hard time too at that point, telling her old mom was beating her up the stairs. But in her defense, I had had my coffee and she had had nothing to eat or drink because she didn't take the time to do it before we left. But we stopped right around here, gave her a protein bar and some water, and then after that, she was good to go. And here's a little bit of the trail after the stairs. And as you can see, it's pretty easy at this point. Even the trail itself, there's not a lot of rocks or tree roots or anything like that. There were some sections on this, I should say, that were a little bit muddy. And so you want to be aware of that because if it's rained anytime close to when you're going out on this trail, it's probably going to be a little muddy in sections. And here we're coming to the point where the Andy Layne Trail hooks up with the Appalachian Trail. And so there's only about half a mile left at this point. And it was pretty easy. Then again, everything was easy after those stairs, like I said. And there's the white hash mark on the tree showing that you are, in fact, on the Appalachian Trail at this point. Here we're starting to get pretty close to the top, and we're starting to see a whole lot of rock formations. And now we are at the top, and this was a point where we were trying to figure out what we were looking for. This happens to me all the time. When I go on these hikes, I'm trying to find the rock or rock formation that I'm hiking to, and it's not always the clearest, but at least on this one, we weren't alone because the guy that was hiking behind us, he came up a little bit after we went out and checked this one out and asked if that was it. And I said, I don't think so. So we kept going down the trail. And here it starts to look more like what I was expecting it to look like. You've got just sheer drop-offs there, basically. So they're actual cliffs. And this kind of just continues on. And so once we got a little bit further up into this, there was a woman up here and we asked her if this was it. And she said, yeah, it was. It just kind of goes along there for a while. And so we figured that this must be it then. And at this point, this is where you start getting the really good views. You can kind of just see forever out there. So we just walked along this, checking out the views from the different rocks. And this one right here, I think was probably my favorite one. And this one also had a survey marker on it. Right there. But just beautiful views. You definitely want to be careful when you're up here walking around this because as the name Tinker Cliffs suggests, that's exactly what this is all the way around here. It's just kind of a sheer cliff. It just drops right off there. So definitely want to watch where you are walking. But just beautiful views. And definitely worth the hike, including those stairs to get up there. Here we were trying to get a picture of ourselves, but the wind was really, really bad, as you can tell looking at my daughter's hair there. So we never really did end up with any good pictures because we just kept trying and the wind just kept really, really going. And her hair was everywhere and I about lost my hat. So we finally ended up giving up. And then the weird thing was that there was all those flies up there, even in that wind. But that was our hike up to Tinker Cliffs. It was overall a really good hike, definitely one I would recommend. In fact, I think all 3 hikes on the Triple Crown Loop are definitely well worth doing. The last one we did was Dragon's Tooth. I have that filmed and I will be doing a video on that one soon too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.